Okay, I'm live again. Let's see, hopefully this one works. I'm gonna go back to home. Want to see just now? Okay, let's see. Want to see just now? Okay, let's. All right, welcome everybody to my summer series. I decided to extend my July one because I had so much fun. I'm back home, but it's still summertime here, and the kids aren't back in school, and I've been doing some reading. Didn't really feel like doing much structured stuff because, again, I think right now is really a time of reflection, a time of going and enjoying yourself, living in the moment. But it's also an opportunity to kind of connect, I think. And a lot of us who have been on vacation or taking vacation coming up are going to have some time to ourselves. And that's I think, one of the most critical periods throughout the year is when we get some downtime. Get to separate from work, get to separate from the day-to-day responsibilities. And in those moments is when I think our biggest growth or our biggest aha moments can happen. So I was actually reading a book. It's called Chatter by Ethan Kross. It was recommended to me by one of my mentors, Larry Hagner. And I've been reading it, and it's fantastic. And it's a psychology study on the voices in our head. And we all have the voices in our head. It's an evolutionary trait that we have developed over time. And those voices really drive what we do. And a lot of what I do in mindset coaching is around creating awareness of those voices, creating awareness of the thoughts that they generate, and how you can manage yourself going forward. So, for example, if you're stressed out, middle of the night, staring at the ceiling, it's like midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock goes by. One of the reasons why we can't settle ourselves down is that mental chatter, that voice in our head that's bringing up all the stresses, all of the concerns, and we just can't get it out of our head. Could go back to when you're listening to a song that gets stuck in your head and you can't get it out, right? I always think of that Dan Barney song, right? I love you, you love me, right? That one, now it's going to be stuck in your head. And it's that mental chatter. But one thing I'm going to glean out of this book for sharing right now, which I thought was an amazing revelation, amazing tactic as well, because you guys know me, I'm all about tactics. I'm all about being able to share what I've learned and make it actionable. Because what's the point of reading? What's the point of collecting all this information if you can't apply it? So as I was reading the book Chatter, one of the things he does talk about is how we love to beat ourselves up. So a lot of what our mental chatter is and a lot of what our mental narrative is to look back and to criticize or to dissect what has happened in the past, right? If we don't have a plan going forward, it's so much easier to go backwards, look at what has already happened, and pick it apart, right? And that's what our brain is designed to do. Evolutionarily, we're designed to look at our circumstances and look at the environment around us and then decide, is it safe to proceed? Is it safe to go there? We're looking out for our lives. In this environment that we're in, there isn't a lot of that. So our brain creates the problems. And if you're not giving it something in the future to solve, it's going to go into the past to look for problems. And this shows up all the time. It shows up whether it's a conversation that you've had with a friend or whether it's something that you did or something you didn't do. For example, I'll use myself as an example. I'm always trying to stay pretty healthy. I'm always trying to, manage how much alcohol I drink, how much food I eat, how much junk food I introduce into my life. But then there are times where you just kind of go overboard, right? And the next day, I have a habit of ruminating. I have a habit of stewing on those thoughts, like, oh, was it necessary to have that extra glass of wine? Did I really need to eat, another piece of cake, or did I have to finish off the bag of chips? And that will go in my head and will stay there. And I'll keep thinking, oh man, if I just had it, if I didn't do that, how much better would I feel? If I had made a different choice, how much different would it play out right now? And one of the tactics that Ethan Kross mentions in Chatter, which I really like, is the idea of being in the third person. Talking to yourself in the third person. And I know some of you wrestling fans will think of The Rock, right? The Rock used to always address himself in the third person, right? And it's kind of awkward for us to think of ourselves in the third person. Like, I can't walk around saying, Pete thinks this. People will think I'm crazy, and I probably will be. But what I'm thinking with this book, and I've tried it myself when I first read it, and I was really intrigued by it, was the idea of sitting down on a couch and coaching yourself. And the idea goes like this. So let's say there's something that has happened or transpired that's, that you're thinking about, and you can't get out of your head, and you're beating yourself up about it. The idea is to sit somewhere and position your brain from a perspective of, what if you were listening to a friend, right? What if your best friend, what if your wife or husband, what if your child came up to you with the exact same problem? What would you say to them? And I think that that's really one of the greatest things to do, because, in coaching, that's one of the first things we teach people is awareness, and becoming aware of the circumstance, aware of the situation, and can you separate yourself from the emotion of that awareness? So when we're overthinking, when we're letting our brains create all of these negative thoughts and negative talk about ourselves, we just love to pile on, right? Like, oh, I'm so lazy, I'm such a dirtbag, I can't believe I did this. All of those factors, start to turn into a snowball effect and start to roll down the hill. And I think that by being able to pull yourself out, sit on the couch, so to speak, and just listen to the narrative, and then talk to yourself in the third person as if you were talking to a friend. So I'll use the three I said right now. I'm lazy. Okay, is that true, Pete? Like, Pete, are you lazy? Well, I can be, but I don't think that was the reason. Okay, what was the reason? I was tired. Oh, okay, well, why are you tired? Well, I was tired because I didn't get up early enough, or I didn't go to bed late or early enough. I got up too late. Okay, great. What are some solutions? Maybe tonight I can take it easy. Maybe I can hold back and go to bed early so I can be less fatigued tomorrow. Great, that's fantastic. How do you feel about that? Well, I feel pretty good. And that is a narrative. I know I just started talking to myself and I started coaching myself here, but that is exactly the kind of approach you can take for yourself when you're having those negative thoughts. Would you speak to your best friend the way you speak to yourself? And that's something you should really, if there's one takeaway from this live that I'm doing right now, is would you speak to yourself, to your best friend, the way you speak to yourself? And if you wouldn't, then why are you doing it to yourself? So here's a tactic. The next time that mental chatter starts to rise up, see if you can sit down on the couch with it and address it in the third person. Treat it like it's your best friend. You're talking to your best friend. How would you do that? How would you approach it? And let me know how it goes. So if you're having fun this summer and you're getting some time to do, and you're having some of this mental chatter come up, try this exercise. It doesn't even take very long. You can have it done in 30 seconds to 90 seconds. And let me know how it goes. I'm always curious to see if these tactics are working for you. If you have any other issues that you're dealing with or anything you want to address, the summertime is the least busy for burnout, but September's coming and school's starting. And if you're challenged with burnout, if you're challenged with the overwhelm that's coming ahead of you, let's get ahead of it ahead of time. So reach out to me down my website, the link's below at peteveskus.com, and I look forward to talking with you guys in the future. See you next week.